What's up? It's your girl Janessa, and this is Find Your Wild with a Y podcast. Okay, welcome back. I'm so excited. I have Heather Munson on our podcast. I'm going to give you a little bio. This is a pretty extensive bio, so I'm going to have to read Heather because, my memory's just
That's
gone.
fine. You can't remember all my things?
No, I can't remember what I ate last night.
Work on that, okay?
I will. I promise.
Yeah.
Okay, I've known Heather for a long time. I mean, since, oh my gosh.
6 years? 6 or 7 years?
Well, we were at Smith & Nephew.
I can't remember time right now.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
So we're both Sagittarius. This could be quite an interesting conversation. We might go down
It'll be
some
fun.
Squirrel moments. Okay. So Heather was a scholar athlete. Weren't you a catcher?
Yes.
Okay. So she played at University of Oregon. Scholar athlete in softball, catcher. She is a badass. I know her personally. So, double major in psych and bio. Really? Damn, girl.
Yeah. I was trying to be like a total science nerd on both spectrums. So it was fun. It was fun.
That seems pretty
Trying to do right and left brain. Trying to do both.
Okay. Well, you're better than I am. Certified nutritionist at OHSU, 6 national certifications. So correct me if I don't say these correct, but 3 with NASM, right? 1 with WITS. Do you guys abbreviate that and just say WIT?
Yeah, they're all acronyms.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 with AIT. And you've been personal training. You began personal training at 21 years old.
Yeah, when I was still at school. Yeah. So I would come back on my breaks and I would do all my personal training like summertime and everything and go back to school. And it was great, very flexible job. But that's when I first started getting into the fitness industry. So early on.
Along with psych and bio major. So there's that.
There's that too.
You've had years of experience in training and management, 15 plus years in medical sales, covering over 6 states, right? That's how we know each other, is from medical sales.
Yeah.
Single mother of 2 for the last 15 years. And I can tell you from personal experience, this woman does it all and raises babies. She's kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah. Doing my thing.
Began competitive bodybuilding at 16 years ago. So that's a long time.
Yeah, I've been doing it a long time. So, yeah, I got into it when I was still at school, and I didn't compete, until a couple years after because I was still playing softball. But yeah, I've been doing it forever. It was my new sport. It was nice. I went through a freak out phase when I was still at University of Oregon, thinking, well, I've been an athlete all my life. What the heck am I going to do without structure? And I was like, I need a new sport. And thankfully, I was approached at the gym. These guys came up to me and were like, you have massive legs. You need to compete. And boom, bang, I'm in bodybuilding after that. So it was perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I've never thought about it like that too. When you're a natural born athlete, you're constantly competing in some capacity. And I think that's probably a common thing for people, like, oh shit, what am I going to do now?
You see it all the time too. And I tell you what, I'm glad that I had that fear because a lot of my friends that were scholar athletes, that were athletes in college and everything right alongside me, they did not have that mindset. And they felt, I can't wait to be liberated from this intense schedule. And then they totally lost themselves. Because, that's what keeps us going, keeps us with purpose, productive and everything and feeling good.
Yeah.
And so as soon as they went without that, they're like, and they don't know who they are. And so a lot of them really struggled and it was never the same. So I was very thankful I had that fear of not having that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I was doing other things besides athletics, which are...
Throat clear.
That's for a different podcast. But my kids are all my kids are athletes. And my oldest one, she just didn't want to compete in college. So she was burnt out. She was on the other spectrum. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Totally.
I just want to live life. But I think she struggled not knowing when she looks back in hindsight, because she's 21 now.
Yeah.
I think she's she went through a phase where she was so consumed with like the training and the
Mhm,
practice and the games, and then it all
mhm.
stopped, and you're
Yeah,
trying to figure out how to be an adult plus,
yeah,
which is scary on its own, plus
yeah,
what the hell I did, and then your body composition changes too because you're used to one
everything.
thing.
Yeah, everything. Well, and it's just, it really is everything. Like, if you think about us, humans naturally love to have everything lined up, structure, purpose, right? I believe that when people have more purpose in their life, they're less likely to be depressed. They're less likely to suffer from any sort of anxiety because they know what to expect. They have that framed out for them. So, I really think that underneath it all, like, I know, speaking from my experience with not only myself, but clients, the minute I implement a structure or routine in their life, their mental health goes up, and it's because they're not wondering what's going to happen next. So their anxiety's significantly decreased. They are feeling so good about themselves because they're so productive. It's kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, and I think so many people just want you to tell them what to do. They don't want to have to find the answer. They just want you to say, "Look, this is what you need to do
Yep.
and move forward. These are going to be the results. If you stick to this,
Hmm.
then XYZ."
Yeah, totally. 100%.
Okay. We had a squirrel moment, but I want to say
Follow
um
along, people.
so you're nationally ranked, and I know this from you. When I met Heather, you were much larger. I mean, like, she was ripped.
Huge.
And you
Yeah,
still are.
huge.
You're ripped. You're just lean and more toned now. So she's
Yeah.
moved down into the wellness division, which I have
Mhm.
so many questions about also.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
and her entire goal is to help her clients just in the most comprehensive way, right? So
Mm.
mind, body, spirit, just cut everything all
Yes.
encompassing.
Very holistic approach in that sense, where you can't do one without all of them.
Yeah.
It really transforms your life. And I don't feel that you can have the success with your physique and with your fitness unless you are also touching on your mental fortitude, and also just, feeling good, spiritually feeling good about yourself and everything connected. So I focus so much on that.
Which I think is so important.
Mhm.
So we kind of answered the first question, what got you into the world of bodybuilding. You needed that
Mhm.
transition, right, from sports into something else that was structured. Um,
Yep.
so I think this is a common question with people. Bodybuilding and wellness, they sound like opposites, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you balance the two? Do you feel like they're opposite, or do you feel like there's some overlap?
So there's just a different focus. If we want to bring it like in the most clear sense, there's just a different focus on what the aesthetic look is. So with female bodybuilding, it's a full body, a lot of muscle, but also a lot of symmetry to the structure of the physique. But upper body and lower body are equally very powerful looking muscularly. And again, much more dense muscle, I would say. Whereas with wellness, you are downsizing, especially the upper body, and there's a definite difference in flow to the physique. It's much more, in my opinion, it's a more feminine flow, and then the lower body is more of the focal point. So you're going to have very dominant leg structure and glutes, and that's like the main focus is more of the lower body, which is kind of what I wanted in terms of, like, if we have our vision on what we want to look like, what our goals are. I never really was like, oh my God, I just want to be this huge, gargantuan muscle woman. It wasn't like something that was like, oh yeah. It was more that I felt that that was the way I had to go. That was the pressure that I felt, from outside noise, that this is what your structure is best at. And so I just went down that path, and I was very successful, but ultimately that's not what I wanted.
Hmm.
And so, when they created the wellness division, which it's like the newest division, I think it's only been out now for 4 or 5 years. As soon as they did that, I was immediately in love with it. I loved the look. I loved what the posing looked like, what it was just overall. It was gorgeous. And I spoke to my coaches at the time, which were very top ranked pro coaches, told them that I would like to downsize and I would like their help with that. They literally laughed in my face. There's no way we can do that. Because once you've achieved this look with so much muscle, to atrophy muscle like that and to also maintain a beautiful physique after losing all that muscle is pretty challenging. And so that's when I started coaching myself, which was kind of always in my head. I was going to coach myself. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And I did. And so now I've dropped 42 pounds of
Damn.
muscle essentially. And if we want to throw pictures in there, I can show you, but totally different look. And I'm so happy. So happy. I feel better. Physically, I feel better. I was just carrying around so much weight. It was terrible to try to find clothes that fit, especially business clothes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I cut myself out of so many different blouses. I was like, we are aborting mission. I could not get them over my lats and my boobs. I was like, nope, full panic attack.
Yeah.
Cut, done. So yeah, it's been just a game changer again, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I feel more like myself. So,
And it's been actually so cool because I've known Heather for quite some time and seen
mhm.
you through all these different phases.
Yes.
She has like the most phenomenal physique in real life. I mean, she's like picture perfect. If you could draw are they called like striations of the muscle?
Yes.
That is Heather. You could see everyone on her body.
Oh, you're so sweet.
It's
Thank you.
insane. But
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, you seem like you're like, this just feels like it's more passionate. Like,
Yes.
this is your baby.
It is my baby. And I also wanted to prove the naysayers wrong. Like it really was a very loud negative criticism when it came to this move from, because I was almost a pro. Like I was essentially one position away from a pro at female bodybuilding. So they're like, why would you give this up? Why wouldn't you just, and I'm like, I'm not doing it for you.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it for the pro card. I'm doing it essentially because this is me,
Yeah.
part of it. So yeah.
And that's so important. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we're living life for, right? Not for other
That
people.
is it.
Mm-hmm.
That is it.
Okay. What is the biggest myth about health and fitness that you wish people would stop believing?
Okay. So
By a lot.
yeah, the biggest myth. Okay, that's a good one. So one size fits all is a big one. Like I feel like people want to completely cookie cutter everything when it comes to health and wellness. Like it's one way. You do it this way. I feel like that is essentially when you see all of these things on Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, it's a blanket statement. Like you need to be training this way, you need to be eating this way, you need to be doing cardio this way. And that is so not the case. Like everyone needs to treat it as their own individual journey. And that is why it is so nice to get the education from a coach, a good coach, that can personalize it to you because people have pre-existing health concerns. People have modifications that are necessary. People might have gut health issues or any sort of pre-existing digestive issues. So it's like those things need to be tended to first before you can just put somebody on a diet. And I feel like that's the biggest mistake I see people make is they go online, they follow what that influencer is doing because they see how they look, or they follow their plan with their training or anything like that. It's the biggest thing, that I feel people go wrong.
Yeah.
You can never, it's a different protocol altogether. They're doing something that's entirely different for their body. So it is not a one size fits all. Everybody has specific needs. So
I love that because I do think you're right. I mean, social media plays a huge part in that. And it's hard to differentiate like what the truth is sometimes versus what is not the truth.
Yep.
So for people to understand that, it's what they're doing is not necessarily the best for you. So it's important to get individualized coaching, individualized meal plans, specific to just you.
Yeah. It's like, I really relate, especially how much the common population of people know about nutrition, right?
It's sad.
Well, it's very bad, and we have so much misinformation.
Mhm.
You know, society has plugged us full of a ton of misinformation. But I relate it a lot to skincare, like how very little skincare people really know how to take care of their skin. It's
Mhm.
the largest organ of our body, and nobody knows how to take care of it. It's the same with nutrition. It is our fuel, and we are completely misguided. And so, my big focus always with my clients is educating them. Okay, this is why I'm doing this. This is how we're going to maneuver, and this is what we should be expecting so that they are educated. They're essentially taking a course on their body, understanding why it works this way, understanding how you need to fuel it and how you need to train it so that it is performing the way you want to.
Yeah, and I think like what you're saying, part of that is unlearning the learned behaviors, right? Which people
Mhm,
have to understand. And I agree, like the one size fits all, I have always said that that is not a real
mhm,
thing. If I get a one
no,
size fits all, my husband is 245 pounds, 6'3".
mhm,
I, we are not going to wear the same
no,
size. I mean, that's
no,
so asinine to me, but
mhm.
whatever. I take
Well, and yeah, but and that's where people get injured, or they have metabolic damage, or they have all sorts of different things that are really really damaging. And so, what I if there's one message I always tell people is educational knowledge is key. It will always trump, no matter how hard you're working, knowledge is key.
Mhm.
Always figure out your cheat code for your body first, and you're going to need somebody that can help you.
Okay, so on that note,
Mhm.
I know how religious you are with working out. Everybody has their days where they don't want to work out.
Totally.
And so how do you get like what keeps you going?
Yeah. So you'll hear this all the time, but commonly people are like, how do you stay motivated? And I always kind of laugh at it. I'm like, I'm not. I'm not motivated because that is a fleeting feeling.
Mhm.
Those are things that are going to come and go. I'm disciplined, but I also I want to love myself and take care of this sanctuary that is my body as long as I can. And that's kind of giving back to myself. Like I will do this because I know the me tomorrow is going to be really happy that I did it today. And that's just kind of what I live by. It's like check your boxes, stay disciplined, stay in your routine because you're going to really thank yourself.
Yeah, I think too what people it's interesting cuz people will they'll stop what they're doing to help someone else over
Mhm,
doing what they need to for themselves.
mm,
And I don't
mhm,
know if it's a common theme where people feel like they're being selfish or
mhm,
they just feel like they should be doing something other than taking care of themselves. But,
mm,
being a single mom,
mhm.
being a mom in general, you,
Yeah,
we need, we do put our things aside for our kids, but we need to be healthy for our children. It's modeled
mhm,
behavior that needs to happen in the house.
mm.
You know, outside of the homes, their conversations. It's not selfish. It's
No,
very
it's the best thing.
important.
No, and I will say this all the time. This is a great way I explain it to my moms because one thing we have to remember, we're not raising just kids, we are raising humans.
Mhm.
We need to be role models. We need to demonstrate for them how to best be the best human. And that means they're watching us. And I also say for those moms that say, no, I need to give back to my kids. I need to focus on this. I need to do that. I'm like, are you 100%? And they're like, well, I'm like, no. I was like, if there was a zombie apocalypse tomorrow, could you throw your kid over your shoulder and run a mile because you had to save your child? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like that is putting your kid first, that you are capable of being 100% so that you can give them 100%
Yeah.
when it matters. That's it. So I always just say they are watching you, and more importantly, those young children need to see a secure person. They need to see a person that values themselves, respects themselves, because they're learning that and they're going to carry that over into adulthood. So if you are insecure about your appearance or what you're able to do or anything like that, but you're a great mom, that's wonderful. and they'll feel that love from you, but they'll also feel that you don't love
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And I don't want any kids feeling that way.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
Well, so and this kind of piggybacks on it. We've already touched on it a little bit, but like, how does mental health play a role in the whole bodybuilding industry? Because I'm sure there's a lot of, well, there is, it's competition, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the comparison, all of that, how does mental health play a role in that? And what do you
Oh my
do
gosh,
with
it's
that?
huge. I literally tell everyone, I'm like, mental health is, if there's a pyramid, mental health is right there at the bottom. My dog is like freaking out wanting to get in. Hold on a second.
We love
Anyways, but
dogs.
we love them. So that's, if I don't feel that somebody has established a strong mental health, foundation and mentally feel fortified, um, that is the first thing I'm going to really work on with them, before, like, if we're going to compete or do anything like that, because you have to have this kind of castle, so to speak, just fortified sense of self and just capabilities and worth, because you're going to be in your head a lot.
Hmm.
You're going to be fixating a lot. And that is the biggest component of it. And on both sides of it, when people come to me and they have poor mental health, and they're in pretty bad shape, or they haven't really been taking care of themselves, they're going to see their mental health skyrocket. They're going to see themselves in a totally different light, and it's beautiful. And it's one of the best things that I am able to be part of, is seeing that mental transformation for somebody. And on the other side of it, we have to be very vigilant as bodybuilders, because we call them prep goggles, and we have body dysmorphia and all sorts of different things, because we're being excuse me, we're being judged on our physique.
Yeah.
So you have to be mentally tough
Yeah.
for that, and be able to have thick skin. But I would say mental health is the biggest component when it comes to, I would say it's the biggest transformation that occurs. So,
Yeah, and I'm sure people, once they start to see changes in their body, their
mhm,
mindset changes a little bit, like, oh, okay, I am looking a little bit different. I am feeling a little bit
mhm,
different. And that shifts your mindset. Uh,
mhm. Oh, and it changes everything. It changes their views on life. It changes their relationships with people,
mhm.
because think about all the people that they changed their lifestyle, and say they were a partier before, and they ate like crap, and they'd go out drinking with their friends, and then they changed their lifestyle dramatically, and they're no longer doing that, and their friends are like, what the heck? And that's when you kind of see who your real friends are,
Yeah.
because your real friends will want the best for you.
Mhm.
But if they're like, no, you need to come out drinking with us, why can't you do that? And they get mad, which happens, they lose friendships. But then they develop new friendships that are more of a healthy lifestyle, and that are going to promote them being the best self. So it changes everything.
Yeah, and I think just to that point, people need to understand that it is important, or it's okay for you to lose friends in this transition.
Mhm,
If you are
mhm.
moving for in the best direction for yourself, your mental health, your
Yep.
family, that, and
Hmm.
people can't see that, they want you to continue doing what you used to be doing, but it's not serving you anymore. I think people need to understand that it's okay to walk away from that. You will meet
Hmm.
people along that path that are going to be the same mindset, and this is just what happens in life.
Yeah. Misery loves
Yeah.
company. And so know who those people are. And I always feel like, this is a constant evolution of who we are as people. That's what this whole point of life is. So if I'm looking at it like I'm healing myself along the way, and I'm going to have these people that are unhealed, that do not want to heal, and they don't want me to heal. What does that say? Bye.
Yeah. Deuces.
I Yeah, I can't. I can't. That's not that. Then you see right away, they just want you to stay down because they are down,
Yeah.
and that's not somebody that's going to love you for you now and the best part of you later. So,
Yeah, I mean, I can speak from my own personal experience. I was a partier, hardcore partier,
mhm,
all through high
mhm,
school and then even after some. And, I'm still friends with some of those people, but there are I mean, I just don't enjoy the things that I used to do. I don't want to go out to the bars and get hammered and wake up feeling like shit. That's just not my
No,
vibe anymore. I don't want to do that. I'd rather be hanging out, drinking hot tea with a like a back
totally.
warmer and watching a girl
You're like,
chick flick or something.
great. This is great.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just funny when your mindset changes, and I think you probably see that some of this, the biggest shifts in this industry, because you are making some hard cuts that you have to
Yeah.
do if you want to move forward in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Such is life.
yeah,
You think about the pace at which you operate and really what you want to achieve in becoming the best version of yourself. You've got to have a very clear focus on the energy you want around you. And you have to be almost savage
yeah,
with what you will allow and what you won't. And so that's what I kind of put it like this. I'm going to always be authentically kind and myself to every human, that I come in contact with, but I will always be honest. And so if somebody's being a dick, they're going to hear it too.
mhm,
But I'm also going to be very careful with what I'm giving that person, as far as my
yeah,
energy goes. And that's where, and also boundaries, making sure that those people that aren't deserving of coming into your circle, that you have boundaries in place, because that's just showing self-love and respect.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so do you do anything around this? Like, do you listen to podcasts? How do you get your
Oh,
mindset?
I Oh, literally. So I have and this is something I preach to all of my clients, friends, family. I have a very strong morning routine and night routine,
Ooh, I
right?
love
Because
it. Share it.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell me all of it. I love it. So my biggest thing is in the morning, my cardio, my stretching, my meditation, my core work and stuff like that. And then I shower, do my skincare, do all that stuff, brush my teeth. And then during my makeup time, which everybody knows I love makeup time, I'm listening. Oh, also I have to say, when I'm doing cardio, I'm listening to my motivational speeches too, which I'd be happy to send over with my YouTube stuff. But and that's what I listen to when I'm doing my makeup. Is it's like, David Goggins and, Jordan Peterson, people are like, this is it. You need to make it happen type thing. And these are the things you need to be aware of, and being honest with what you want to improve on, and how you want to be. Um, that's kind of my thing in the morning. It sets my whole day. I check my boxes and I go to work, I do my thing. And then at night, I do my training, my cardio, whatever needs to be done, food prep. And then I am also going to like try to put my phone away as best I can, before I go to bed. As long as I don't have to like respond to clients and stuff. But then I'm going to journal. I journal every single night. I have affirmations that I go through. I have what I achieved that day. Doesn't matter how small it is, my
Mhm.
achievements, my plan for the next day, and just any other bullshit that I need to write down, and then I kind of do my meditation and I go to bed. So it's calming down my central nervous system, clearing out everything. I kind of say it's like clearing out the toxins and kind of bringing in all the good before I go to bed.
Yeah. Which I think is so important because there's so much noise all the time.
So much noise, and I feel like that is such a huge issue with people being able to properly shut down their central nervous system at night. It's so overstimulated. Our brains go like crazy, and so that was something that I really had to be self-aware. How do I shut the noise out? And I have to bring it back to myself and stay grounded, and really find that place where I feel safe, secure, good, and I'm ready for the next day. And people just, you can't really filter out that noise, especially if it's constant. So you have to have control over that.
Yeah. Which again
Mm.
comes into play your whole friend circle and people who support you.
Totally. Totally. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if somebody wants to just, and I feel like I know the answer to this, because everybody's so different, but what if people just want to get toned up? They don't want to bulk up. They don't want to get into
Yeah,
bodybuilding. They just want to feel better, look better. Do you have any advice for how to keep things balanced for those people?
totally. Totally. So again, everybody's completely different. Everybody's completely individualized, but what I always tell folks is that the biggest thing I would really focus in on is getting your diet in a good place based on your body type, based on what your goals are. Women naturally, especially you know, the normal woman, there's always those, outliers that they have like crazy genetics and they can put on size and everything, but 99% of women, when they fear bulking or getting big or anything like that, it's never going to happen. So they can go ahead and let that fear go,
Love it.
because just let it go, women. And one of the most common things I used to get told when I was even personal training and coaching, you're gorgeous, but I don't want to look like you. You're too big. And I was like, that's great. You'll never look like
Yeah.
me. I promise you will never look like me, because this is very specific and intentional. This has taken years. So the average woman or man, especially whatever look you're going for, unless you are on a very specific, intentional building plan that is extreme, you're not going to put that sort of size on, and it would take years to do so. Most women, we are going to lose body fat, and you're going to kind of compact yourself. I call it recomposition. And that's essentially what I do with all of my women, especially, those that are very concerned. I'm like, your body's going to recomp. We're not focused on this extreme weight loss. We're focused on losing all of the fat, or shrinking the fat cells, so to speak, and putting on good lean tissue, which is going to speed up your metabolism. So that's what we ultimately want. Again, just like we say in skincare, I want to get your body optimally functioning. I want it to be performing the way it should.
Yeah.
And so that everything's on par. Um, but yeah, everybody's different. So most women just want to look amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it. I'm like, let's get you just banging, girl. Let's get you going. And that's essentially what is going to come from having a really good diet that is properly structured. And generally, the weight training is you're going to go with volume, a little bit higher volume, but also just a different type of training, making sure that you're actually engaging the muscle properly. You're not going to do any sort of crazy compound lifts or power lifts or anything like that. Again, it's just structured. Everybody's going to have a unique way they're going to be directed, but I think it's important that people know, don't fear getting too big. If you're on the right program, it will never happen. You're just going to get gorgeous. You're,
Yes.
you're going to get gorgeous, because it's going to be healthy. It's going to be good.
I do think it's so interesting how so many women think that like lifting heavier weights is going to make you bulky. It's
It's the
just,
best for you.
gosh.
Women are prone to higher levels of bone density loss, osteoporosis, and really lifting is the only real cure for that. That's the only thing that's going to be the most preventative, but also long term is going to be the most helpful with preventing bone density loss. And also, it's just the best because you're putting on lean tissue, which is actually going to promote a higher level of metabolic outcome. So you're going to be burning more calories.
So
They wonder why. Yeah.
women, did you hear that? If you
Come
lift
on.
heavy weights, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're going to get bulky. We're going to
Yeah.
squash that right now. No
Yep.
more.
Yep. No more.
That's a
No
lie.
more.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not real. It's
Not,
not real.
that does not exist. Okay. This is just kind of a personal thing. What's one workout that you absolutely hate? Because I feel like everybody has that, like, ugh, I dread this day.
Like, well, okay. So I do a lot of lower body day. And it's funny because I'm my own coach. So
Which takes
it's
some
funny.
serious,
Yeah.
serious, like mental strength and perseverance because no one's there to tell you what to do and when to do it and how much to keep going.
Well, and I think my clients would be excited to hear this, that I literally, I I I am strong about practicing what I preach. And so when I'm doing the hardest shit in the gym, I'm thinking of my clients all standing around me watching me do it. And so I'm like, I better fucking kill this right now. I better do this. So excuse me. Anyway, so I would say, I would say I do some pretty gnarly stuff.
I
That's
know,
what I was.
because I've seen
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of saying I coach myself, because I literally am cussing myself out like when I'm in the middle of a set that I put together for myself. I'm like, you stupid ass. Like, what were you thinking? You are a sadist. You are a sadist. Like, this is terrible. So anyways, I would probably say I have some like tempo related squat drop sets that I do that are pretty brutal. And so you're literally doing a 5 count down,
Oh
5 count up,
god.
but this is after like subsequent really slow, there it's a different tempo, but it's a gnarly, and you literally just want to, you meet Jesus that day. Like, it's literally like you're right there. You're like knocking at the door. So, and then also like my drop sets on like leg extensions, we'll do like gnarly drop sets to like 60 reps.
Oh,
And leg extensions is a special type of pain. It's just a special type of pain where it never really goes away even after you're done lifting. So,
can't really
yeah.
stretch those out.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because people try to like roll around on the ground. I'm like, it's not gonna help.
Yeah.
That's the lactic acid. It's in there. So
You're gonna have to hang on, girl.
you're gonna have to hang on. I do some pretty crazy things, and I call it going to my pain cave. I'm like, get in that pain cave, girl, and just like really feel it, because that's when your body's gonna change. That's when your body is really gonna make the moves. So it's got to be uncomfortable.
Yeah. So she
Hmm.
does do things that she hates, just so everybody knows that.
All the things. Literally, I do my training before I program it for somebody else. I try things out on myself. And if I hate it, I'm like, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good. They're going to like it.
So you do it with them and you're like, I know you want to say you motherfucker right now.
Yeah.
Just
And
say it.
you can say
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
am, because I call myself that. So we are so locked in right now. And matter of fact, I don't know. Again, it's kind of the sadist in me. I get kicks off of it. I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
you like that? Yeah.
And you're gonna
So
like the outcome too, lady.
I'm like, just wait for your butt. Your
Uh-huh.
butt's gonna be so gorgeous. Yeah. So,
Oh my god. Okay. Again, I have known Heather for a long time. We've gone to several work meetings. She
mhm,
is, if you've never worked in like a sales environment, we have these national sales meetings. They feed you
mhm,
like the worst food ever available. And they give you
mhm.
these snacks in the middle of the day that are like cookies and granola bars. And I'm like, okay, so we're going to have these sugar crashes. We're not getting any nutrients. Maybe we could get a little bit healthier options. So Heather
I've
never
brought you
consumed any of
snacks.
that.
Yeah, and I brought snacks for you. Remember?
Yes. She brought snacks for all of the team. Everybody, you get
Yeah,
a snack. She's like the mom on the team. You get
yeah,
you look hungry. You want a snack.
yeah.
Here's my bag. Grab a snack. Here's
All
a
these
healthy snack.
of like protein snacks. Yeah. So this is what I tell, especially all of my clients that are similar to that kind of work structure, or they just have ridiculous traveling. Their whole thing is all over the place. I tell them I've maneuvered in every situation. I promise you, I will hook you up. I have the cheat code for how you go about making sure you have the food you need when you're staying in a hotel that maybe doesn't even have a microwave, whatever it happens to be. There are ways around it. So one of the biggest things I talk about is having some non-perishable items that you can have with you at all times if you can't get meals in, say for instance at meetings and things like that. But you can have tuna packs, you can have beef jerky, you can have rice cakes, you can have nuts, things like that, that you always have on you. And you can measure them out so you make sure that they're portioned correctly, getting enough protein, whatever it happens to be. But then I also have like kind of the upgraded versions, like say say we were at a meeting for 5 days, and that's too long for me to sit there and just eat these stupid
Shit
snacks,
snacks.
or
Oh, well,
replace
your snacks are
your
not shit. Yeah.
my replacements. So I will probably go to the grocery store, and you get cooked chicken in the deli. You know, they have plain chicken breast cooked in there. You even find the ones that they've already shredded up or cut up for you. Get some salad, get some microwavable rice that you can get, rice cakes, oats. You know, you have all of these things that are super easy, and you can easily microwave them, and that's it. And you're good to go. Get some fruits and vegetables, and you're set. Some pre-made protein shakes to drink. There's so many different options.
Yeah, so this should not be an excuse for people. There's lots of different ways. And Heather has, like I said, she's covered up to 6 states. So there's a lot of travel involved in, the work that she does outside of personal training. And I've been in that situation. She's guided me. Make sure you stock up on this. Go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
don't let that be an excuse or a crutch.
Mm-mm.
Now,
and it's easy in the sense, once you get systems in place, I feel like the hardest part about this whole thing is people don't realize how you can simplify it. And once you have the cheat codes for all these things, and you have somebody properly showing you how to do all of this, it really is so gratifying because you're locked in.
yeah.
It's like you have everything set to go. So you can't fail. As long as you check your boxes, you can't fail.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
excuse number 2, check, done. We're getting that out of there. Okay, what is your guilty pleasure food? I just have to know
Oh
that.
God. Oh gosh. I have a huge sweet tooth. But my whole thing, and I always say this because everybody wants to know one thing. Never ever ask a bodybuilder what is one thing you want to eat. Don't ever do that. Really, you will see that their brain implode because they can't think of just one thing. Okay, I need to have like a smorgasbord of things around me, like some pizza, burgers, fries, macaroni cheese, you know, all these different things all around me. But I love sweets too. I love carrot cake. I love brownies and cinnamon rolls and all the yummy things. So that's when I tell people I'm not some weird robot where like I just don't have the palate for those amazing foods. I surely do. But we do it with
Yeah.
structure because I give clients refeeds and cheat meals and stuff like that. And sometimes it's weekly, you know, and so they can have their date night with their husband or their wife and, you know, whatever. But yeah, for me, I really like a variety because I probably need to try all the things.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's my
you're
thing.
Sagittarius,
Yeah.
right? We can't choose one thing. That's
Oh, don't do that. That literally makes my brain freak out.
yeah.
Don't
That's
do
one
that.
way to make us angry. Okay, tell us to choose one thing.
No, that is so against the rules.
Yeah.
I can't.
Nope.
I can't. What about you?
Okay, I think I can't really. I'm with you.
You're
It's like,
You're
you can't put baby in a
so
corner. I mean, I can't just choose one thing.
no.
I mean, I'm with you though. I love the sweets. Like my dad had a major sweet tooth. Like he loved the donuts, and I don't mean like donuts from the grocery store. I mean like donuts from the donut shop.
Donut
Yeah,
shop. Yeah.
there's a big
Oh,
difference. So that's what I was
there's
telling my husband.
a
Like he'll buy them
yeah.
some occasionally for the kids, and I'm like, why would you do this to me? This is not fair because I'm gonna have to leave until all these donuts are consumed. I don't have self control when
Well,
it comes to
that,
that.
that's the thing. What I tell people too, it's like I think I've conditioned myself. I always have candles lit in my house that smell like baked goods.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's kind of triggering myself. So I'm like desensitized. So if I do have baked goods in the house, I'm fine. It's not like this ravenous savage bear running after the baked goods. Uh, yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, I like sweets and you like donuts, but the real donut.
Yeah, the real donuts. That would be my guilty pleasure.
Someday we will go get real donuts.
Oh yeah.
And consume all of
Yes. There's not one donut, it's gonna be a lot of them.
It's going to be all the donuts. And nobody we'll be both taking bites of each other's. Like, you try that one. We need all of
Yeah, we got to
it.
just taste it to
Taste it.
experience it.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's an experience,
Yeah,
100%.
always. Always.
Yeah. I clearly need that in my life. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, it's got to be multiple
Yeah,
things.
you got to have a smorgasbord.
Because what happens if I waste this cheat meal on something that does not quench my
Yeah.
hunger? I'm going to be
Yeah.
pissed. I have my next cheat meal that I can then adequately like, make sure I get some better, because no work.
Gonna make better decision next time, Heather.
Better choices.
Okay. So let's talk about your business that you're
Hmm.
launching. Like,
Yes.
what was the aha moment that made you just say, "Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create this business."
So, I've been coaching for so long. I've been coaching for 20 years, and I've been in the industry forever. Um, I've done well with social media for the most part, and have really put my name out there, built a really solid reputation. And I've always considered doing a clothing line. I've tampered with a lot of different business ideas, and I do have a business mindset, much like yours. And really, I wanted to follow my purpose. I felt like my biggest purpose in life is to help empower others to be their best self in every way, every way, shape, or form, body, mind, body, and spirit. And I feel like I've done a very good job with that. It's come very naturally to me. It's something that I have a lot of passion for. I've been obviously heavily educated on it, and I continue to do that. So I felt like that was already the foundation of making that move. It became more clear to me, I think, in the state of the economy and everything that's been going on, and also just wanting to have my something that's mine. That I'm not making money for another company, I'm not making money for somebody else. I wanted to do something that was my brand, um, totally symbolic of me and everything I believe in. And so that's when I really kind of put the pedal to the metal. It was really over the summer, I would say, that I really started structuring everything. Got my website built, my logo. I have apparel coming. I have already a couple t-shirt options, and then I'm also going to be getting hoodies and crop hoodies and fleeces and beanies and hats and all the things, and leggings. I'll be very snobby with the legging selection because it needs to be good.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a process, but like, I have everything really up and rolling. I'm gonna be starting my podcast. Um and I love what I'm doing, and I love my clients so much. I love what I'm able to do for them, and it's just something special. So
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
just really excited for you. I think it's like you're just blossoming into what you were meant to do and to be. And
No.
again, working with you for so many years, I've seen the transition, and it's interesting when you were like ripped and bigger. I just remember like women would be so intimidated by her even when we were at our last job together,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
men the same thing. And because they thought she was mean, they thought she was like aggressive, and you're not. I mean, you are the
No.
kindest person, like the biggest cheerleader for everybody. I remember one of the girls came up to me, she's like, "Oh, she's on your team." I don't know, she just kind of looks like she's mean. I'm like, "Oh, she's not. She's literally the nicest person, the biggest cheerleader. She will rah rah shish kumbah for whatever you want to do. She is there to lift you up
Yeah.
and to help get you to wherever you need to go." So this
I
is
can't
just so
tell you,
cool.
which I appreciate that so much. I cannot tell you. I have, like, some of my friends will refer people to me, and they'll say, "Yeah, you need to go hit up Heather and blah blah blah," or Phoenix. Everybody always thinks my name's Phoenix, and they will follow it up with, "Oh, she scares me." You know, it's so common. It's so common, which I'm not offended, people. I'm not offended at all. I understand it. I do. But I promise you, I'm literally the biggest teddy bear. I love on people, and then that's always the when they finally talk to me, they're like, "Oh, you're so sweet."
Yeah.
It's like, I don't expect it. I'm like, yeah. I mean, it has its perks. I've scared plenty of my daughter's
Oh,
boyfriends,
good.
and that's it.
Yeah.
That's as long as I have that,
Yeah, they're like,
you
"Oh,
know.
shit. We are not gonna make mistakes here. Heather's gonna come kick
And
her ass."
I just kind of, flare up and walk around and let them see. It's kind of like a let me see the main lion there, and then that's it. Just as long as you know I'm there. But yeah, it's I've always gotten that criticism, and I totally understand where it comes from. But just rest assured, it is the absolute opposite of what people think.
Yeah, I think and I love that you're just building this brand because you're just so much more than what you have been. So to see like this whole thing flourish, it's like the phoenix, right? The rising phoenix. This is
That's
the whole thing.
why Yeah, that's why I've had obviously my Instagram name has been that forever. It was my nickname for the longest time, but it has taken on more meaning. I've been through a lot in my life, and I've always kind of had, my Angelou's quote, and still I rise. And I have it tattooed on me. And it's, the phoenix, still I rise. You always are going to rise up from your darkest hours. And that's something that you just need to remember and just know. And so that's kind of what I stand for. So everybody rises from the ashes. We all have to go through that to have a
Yep.
rebirth. And that's how we evolve.
Yep.
So, mhm.
Okay, so when it comes to that, in this fitness space that you are creating, can you give us the name of your company and then kind of what your vision is?
Yeah. So my company's name is Phoenix Physiques, and obviously, "Still I Rise" is kind of that motto that we stand by. It's really about empowering. I do lifestyle and competitors. It's really mind, body, and spirit transformation. It's complete evolution in all of those aspects, and it's about comprehensive education. Within the realms of dieting or just nutrition, training, cardio, natural supplementation, and just having that guidance to build the structure and foundation that they need to carry the rest of their life, so that they're taking care of themselves the rest of their life. And really about leaving a legacy, because I really look at my clients like, this is me paying it forward, which I believe our purpose is.
Mhm.
We're meant to build our purpose and what we're meant to do on this earth and do the very best we can. And then we're meant to give it away.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm doing. And I feel like my clients are going to be little legacies of me that they can then spread. So that sounded creepy, like the virus. And then I was just like, and then they can spread to everybody else.
Oh, I know, it makes total sense. Oh.
Sorry, it was a beautiful moment that I just turned into that because I was like,
Oh my goodness.
but yeah, no, that's what and obviously, on my website, I'll have apparel. This is not just going to be, my coaching. I'm having a podcast. I'm going to have subscriptions where I will have included, like nutrition guidance for those that are not my clients that just need tips and tricks, hacks. And just, I really want to build a full brand of, and a movement, so to speak. I want to build a movement where people are looking to empower themselves in every way in their life.
Yeah, and I mean, I could just speak to this just from knowing you. I think the biggest differentiator from Heather against other people that I have known as far as the physical training realm,
Hmm.
I think that your aspect or what you're trying to create is all encompassing. Like you said, you want
Hmm.
people to have a strong mindset so that you can move forward not only in your fitness life but
Hmm.
with every different
Take
part
on
of your life, right?
Yeah. I want you to take on everything. I want every aspect of your life to be exponentially enhanced. And it's going to change your view. That's where it starts. It's going to change your view of not only how you see yourself, but how you see everything. And of course, your whole life will
Yeah.
change in the best way.
Yeah, and I think that there's
So,
just so much overlap. I mean, again, when I'm frustrated, I like to work out. It's
mhm.
just a different way. You just leave it on the
Yeah,
treadmill or whatever you're doing. Just go out
yeah.
there, let it fuel you, and then
Hmm.
leave it out there.
Yeah, you got to release the demons and, replenish your soul. I mean, that's essentially it's both getting things out of you that need to be out of you and bringing all the good back in. And so really that's what we're meant to do as humans. We're meant to be very active. We're meant to be fueling our body properly. We're meant to be purposeful. And you know, I think everybody, once they've really uncovered what they're capable of doing, especially when, in the worst case scenarios, maybe somebody's been told their whole life they can't, and then somebody comes and shows them how to. Wow,
Yeah.
that's a game changer, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this is very much needed in this world that we're in right now.
Mhm.
Do you
I,
have any plans on like branching out outside of the personal training space, like creating fitness products, supplements, maybe doing like a
yes.
wellness retreat?
Oh yeah, I'm planning. So in within all encompassing within what I'm doing, which has an endless there's endless tree branches of where I can go with this. Obviously, I have my apparel already coming, but I also will have commodity items like wrist wraps, knee sleeves, weight belts, things like that that are what I would consider commodity items, but obviously very high quality. And then on top of that, we will go the route of doing bodybuilding camps and also just like we could do regular lifestyle camps as well. But I really think that there needs to be more education, especially for the bodybuilders that are up and coming, to understand what all is included, what all is necessary. And that is going over finances, mental state, work, home life balance, how harmonious your life at home is, these little things, how much time you have, time management. There's so many things that people don't understand when they are considering possibly competing that go into it. So I'm going to be doing bodybuilding camps. I already do posing seminars, and I'm just going to be kind of branching out from there. So
I love it. Okay,
yeah.
so if the like lay person off the street, they don't want to do bodybuilding, but they want to get into shape, that is
Oh
someone that
yeah.
you would completely take on as a
Oh
client.
my gosh, I would say I have probably 50-50.
Okay.
I have so many lifestyle clients that are amazing. Like and I love it. And that's really, to me, it doesn't make any difference whether you competitor or lifestyle. I literally view everybody individually, and it's like, what are your goals? What are we doing? And I'm so excited to be on board with that. So cuz really at the end of the day, my bodybuilders are still lifestyle clients too,
Yeah.
unless they're in prep. So, yeah,
Yeah, which is
everyone.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Do you plan on collaborating with any other trainers, any other wellness professionals, influencers? How do you kind of see that playing out in the way that you want to grow this?
Oh yeah, I think that there's always opportunity when it comes to collaborating. If it makes sense, like that's one thing, especially when I'm doing like bodybuilding seminars or anything like that. I feel like it's really important to have people from different divisions, which would be like bodybuilding, wellness, bikini. Like it's good to have people that are kind of spearheading each division so people have that. So I'm sure that I'll always look into that. And I love every opportunity to create something with somebody else that has maybe a different perspective or a different angle in the industry too. So yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and I think probably with your podcast too, it's a great way to do that
Mhm.
as
Oh,
well.
yeah, ton of interviews. I fully intend on doing that. In my podcast, I'm going to be focused a lot about all encompassing, mind, body, and spirit when it comes to this arena, lifestyle, whether it's competing, but just the fitness arena in general, and just really tackling all of that. So I'll have a lot of people. That'll be great.
I'm just here for it, Heather.
And I want you on it too. And then you can be, and I can ask you all the
Oh
questions.
yeah,
Okay.
I like
Yeah.
it. Okay, so this is gonna be the last one
Hmm.
because the the title of my podcast is Find Your Wild, right? So we're focusing on helping people find what they're passionate about,
Yes.
helping find their drive, what really fuels them, and then health
Hmm.
obviously in there for my own alopecia journey and all of that. So What do you feel like is one piece of advice you would give your younger self from the standpoint that you're at right now?
I would say to my younger self is you need to love yourself completely, no matter what. Love yourself, respect yourself, and protect your energy. And just really, I mean, at the end of the day, I think people forget that that's really, in order for you to love others, you really have to bring it here first. So, and because I really feel that the problems lie where people get involved with the wrong people, where people make bad choices, where people are misguided or misdirected in their life, or maybe influenced easily. It's all because it comes from a place that they don't love themselves enough and don't value themselves enough. And so they just do things to try to feel validated or try to feel loved. So that's what I would say.
I think that's excellent. I think too, we're both Sages, right? I've said that multiple times because that's what Sages do.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's what we do.
you know, I spent, and I said this the other day on my Instagram, I spent my whole life trying to make sure everybody is happy because I just hate when people aren't happy or they're
Right.
uncomfortable. And I would give so much of my energy to help make people feel better, even if that's not where my energy should have been spent.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mm-hmm.
just trying to make peace with everything, even though sometimes you can't make peace in certain situations, you have
Mm-hmm.
to walk away from them. And I
Yeah.
think that's just kind of like what you're saying, just really giving back to yourself and honing into to
Mm-hmm.
those things. Like, I have only so much energy, and you have a family and you have kids, and that takes precedence over anything else. People
Absolutely.
sometimes are going to have hurt feelings, and that's just the way that it
Yeah.
is. uh,
Yeah.
People sometimes
They're
aren't going
just
to have the
gonna.
same vision, and that's just the way that it is.
Mhm. And sometimes, you know what? This is the way I look at it too. When people are afraid to hurt somebody's feelings, maybe that is something that is going to change their life for the better because they have to hear
Hmm.
it. So I really believe in standing in my truth. And I believe I'm doing somebody a disservice if I don't call them out.
Yeah.
Like if I knew somebody and I felt like they were not really putting their energy in the right direction, or if I felt like maybe they were just being a dick, they need to hear
Yeah.
it. And I'm gonna say it out of love, and I always tell them that, but I'm gonna call them out because I care enough that they make those adjustments so that they get their life on track.
Right.
And so for those that are afraid to hurt somebody, that's what we're supposed to go through. We are supposed to experience discomfort in order to grow.
Hmm.
So people forget
Yeah.
that. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that so much, and I just love you
Yeah.
to pieces.
I love you so much. This has been so much fun.
I mean, we just always have a great time together. So,
Yeah.
but I appreciate your
Yeah.
time, and I'm just so excited for what you're building and this whole vision. And again, I have just had the pleasure to know you for so many years, and then just know you more intimately over the past couple
Mhm.
of years, and work
Yeah.
closely with you. And
Mm.
I mean, you just have so much to give to people in this community. And you know, even outside of
Thank
just the
you.
bodybuilding community, it's the, like I said, people sometimes are scared of you, and then they meet you and they're like, oh my God, she's amazing. She is so awesome. She's not what I thought at all. And I just think,
It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite party trick. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna eat you. Like it's fine. It's
I'm
fine.
also
You're
not
fine.
going to punch you in the face. It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
I'm not gonna aggressively hit you. Like this is great. I'm actually a hugger. It's great. You'll like me. Yeah.
But I
It's
love
my
this.
favorite part. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
So
it's
thank you.
such a beautiful thing. And I will put all of your links in the notes for the podcast, where to
Thank-
find her. So if you want to let everybody know where to find you on your social media, on the social media platforms.
yes. Yeah. So with Instagram, it's Phoenix. I always forget this. Phoenix underscore fire Munson is, and I'll obviously give this to Janessa so she can put it there. And then also I have my website, which is www.stillirisePhoenixPhysiques.com. And those are the two best places to really reach out to me. And there's contact information, everything on my website. So if you are interested or you'd like to just chat, same thing on Instagram. I respond to DMs, even if people are just curious about things, if they're not looking for coaching, they just have questions. I love to be informative. I love to let people know things. So feel free to also just DM me.
So you guys heard it there. Heather loves to help. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. I always appreciate your time. I just love you.
Yes, thank you. I love you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
As always, thank you so much for your time, because at the end of the day, that's the most important currency we have. I hope you took something away from today's episode. Don't forget to follow me at Find Your Wild with a Y on all your socials, as well as following the podcast on any of the platforms that you listen to. And most importantly, I hope you are one step closer to finding your wild.